What's up, y'all? Happy Cinco de Mayo. IG can't get me with this one because this is my song. Kaylan, what's up? Let's get to it. Thanks. What's up, girl?
What's up?
Oh, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Of
I had
course.
to get right. I had to figure out where I was gonna do this at in my house. My lighting is so dim that I'm like, okay, let me come in this. I have a lash room, so that's where I'm at now.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate y'all being tuned in. Welcome to Be Great, Good to Great. We're highlighting people in their individuals and their career, what they're doing, how they got there. It's all about the destination, or sorry, the journey, not the destination. So before I get into it, wow, Kaylan, we met at SIU, right? In college.
Yeah, in college for sure.
Back in the days.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah, we met at SIU. We've been friends, shoot, ever since. I think Kaylan used to do my hair actually in college. I low key sometimes still don't know how to do my hair, which is why it's still up
Girl,
in a
your
bun.
hair still looks good. So healthy.
Thank you. But Kaylan, introduce yourself, give people your background, and tell people what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm Kaylan, now known as the Lash Hero. Originally, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I went to beauty school to do hair originally. But now I've transitioned over. I'm a full-time lash artist. I work out of Lacuna Lofts at Pure Nova Studio.
That's awesome. So how did you even get into lashing, right? And maybe I should go back, right? So you went to
Yeah.
SIU.
hmm
What did you get your degree in?
So my degree is in public relations.
Public relations. Okay. Why did you want to do public relations?
How did I get into PR? Well, originally I went to SIU for business,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, I know I want to own a business, but it was just so like cutthroat, college of business, firsthand. Like, I'm like, you know what? It's missing like the creative side. Like, I still like to speak, I still like to
Hmm.
talk, I like to meet people, I love projects, presentations. So PR was actually brand new to SIU. And
Okay.
I think I had spoken to, I don't know, like, I can't even remember who. They're like, you should think about PR. I had never considered it. And I looked into it and I'm like, oh, this is like dope. Basically, this is like brand management type of deal. So you're still like, you still can work with a business. It's
Hmm.
just a little bit more of, you know, kind of like representing a brand, which ultimately, hey, look at me now. I use a lot of those PR skills that I learned in school more so now than like I ever did before. So yeah, so PR, that's how I got into it. It's kind of random, but it was
Hmm.
kind of like my alternative for marketing, because that's in the College of Business. I was trying to go for marketing. So it was just like my alternative. It gave me a little bit more.
Got it. And so then
Yeah.
when did hair come into the picture? While you were studying, did you just used to do hair before college?
Well, yes. So I've been doing hair. So I started braiding when I was like 10 years old. I used to braid
Wow.
like my mom's hair, my family's, my cousins, everybody, anybody I could. And then in high school, I used to braid for money. So, I used to $15, $10. It was like so cheap, just hustling in school just to buy Jordans or whatever I wanted to buy. And then after, I remember like around my senior year, I started really considering going to cosmetology school, which back then, Instagram wasn't popping. Um, None, like beauty was like a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now, in my opinion. So it
Hmm.
was a big deal for me to be 17 years old. My friends were preparing to go to college in their universities, and I was preparing to go to a 10-month beauty school program, at 17 years old. uh, it was kind of like not, I don't want to say not accepted by my family, but they were very much so like, you should still go to college. So
Hmm.
that's how I ended up at SIU. Like I did complete my beauty school. I got my license. I was licensed at 19, and
Wow.
then I came to SIU. Yeah.
And so how was the beauty school program? So you did that prior, so you can't do both at
Yeah.
the same time, right? You got to do like one.
You no, I don't think you probably could. I think they do have a part-time program, but I still think it's like it's however many hours a day, like 5 hours a day still. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't you probably could. I don't want to say you can't. You might be able to do
It'll
that,
be a
but
lot.
I went full time. It was just from August to June. So it's like a full school year. I went full time, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Oh no, that's full. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is full time. I went to Pivot Point. It is one of the best schools. It closed down. The owner passed away I think it was like a year or two ago. But I went to Pivot Point Academy. It is the bomb. I definitely have recommended a few very successful hairstylists to that school from SIU. So, they can contest. It's the bomb.
And I know Lay was on here a while ago too, and he was talking about how you taught him, a lot with doing hair. So is that pretty much what you were doing? So you were like, while I'm in school, I need to like pay off these loans and stuff too that I got, or I mean, I don't know if the scholarships or whatever it is, but you're like, yo, I'm hustling. Cause I remember you were just doing hair back to back, and you were booked and busy in college.
I was booked and busy, but let me tell y'all, I got to that point though, because I think like my first year down there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this hair thing. I was like 1 or 2 clients here and there. Everybody wanted weave. I had never done a weave before. So Carbondale taught me how to do a sew-in. It was a lot of trial and error. And thank you to anybody that's watching that let me play in their hair, back in the day, because I did not know what I was doing. But people like Lay, for example, that came to me consistently, a lot of my best friends, everybody that came to me, it was a learning opportunity for me, and it helped me be great. Be great. Look at that. It helped me be great at the end, seriously, because if they if y'all wouldn't have let me try things, I probably wouldn't have been like half of the success I was. By the time I graduated Carbondale, you are absolutely right. It came to the point where I'm like, dang, am I going to class, or am I about to do a sewing real quick? But it really got to that point like towards the end, because it was crazy. I was like waking up at 6 a.m. I think doing hair before class. Wow. And then, in RSOs and organizations, going to all those meetings, and then still coming home and doing hair. So
and trying to make time for yourself too.
Right. But it's all good. I loved it. And when I look back on it, I'm like, wow, you were like running your own business out of your apartment, essentially. That's really what it was, So
could have been writing off all that stuff rent free.
Right?
In Carbondale, my rent was like $350. It was great. Yes, in Carbondale. B Noel said you used to do her hair too. Yes, I just saw her in the comments.
Oh my God, I feel like I did. Nobody was really doing hair in Carbondale like that, right?
No. Well, I mean, not that we trusted, right? I think it's like
let's say that.
Like,
let's say that.
Not many people that a lot of people trusted, but everybody was like, oh, I'm going to Kaylan to do my hair. I'm going to Kaylan to do my hair. And then they're like, oh, well, Kaylan's busy until this time. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, everybody, Carbondale was the bomb. And you know what? I think that since a lot of people, I guess that we didn't do hair, it just helped me so much. It was referral. Think about back then, no Instagram. It was like, how was I really marketing? I think it was just word of mouth. Like
it was word of mouth.
I never passed out flyers. I never had a website. I never did anything. It was just like boom, 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 boom.
Right, and Lay and Britt said on their lives too, right? They're like walking brands. So like right after you did somebody's hair, somebody's gonna be like, oh, where'd you get your hair done?
Yep.
And everybody's like, Kaylan did my stuff. And everybody's like, oh, okay. That's all I need.
That is so true.
And so just to let you guys know, this is meant to be interactive, right? So if you guys have any questions to ask Kaylan, please use the question box or drop them in the comments. And then also Kaylan's doing a giveaway. I'm gonna let her say it, but I put the hashtag in there too.
Yes, I am doing a lash giveaway, a free full classic set. The run is going on, so we can discuss some details with the winner. But absolutely, y'all know I was not gonna pull up empty-handed. I love lashes, so yeah. One lucky winner will get a full classic set.
So if you want that, just hashtag in here in the comments Lash Zero. Put it right here in the comments. Put it there, and then I'll write your name down, and toward, I don't know, Kayla, whenever you want to do it or whenever we can, I'll like
Yeah.
run this wheel, and then it'll just
Okay.
spin it and pick the person.
Oh, that's perfect. And if you all want to gift it to somebody, that's cool too. I know Mother's Day is coming up, so y'all might wanna, I don't know, gift it
That's
to
true.
a mom or something. I'm down for that.
I love that. And what was it? She was doing models for Vanity. Oh yeah. So you were doing
Oh,
hair for Vanity models too?
girl, who wasn't? We was all doing hair. We were all doing makeup. We were all doing fitting outfits. Kaisha was like, this is our other friend Kaisha, guys. I'm sorry. She was like president of Vanity at the time, making outfits, sewing up, like everything. So we all pitched in for Vanity. And Vanity Fashion for Models, for you guys don't know, it's just the RSO down at SIU. I was so shy to join at first, but I stayed, and it's the bomb. Is it still going on down there?
I think so. I don't know. My mom actually, when she was at SIU, her roommate
Yeah.
founded Vanity.
What?
I never knew that, and that was in like the 80s or something.
What? Girl, Vanity is the bomb. Bees up. Still.
Karita said, still mad Kaylan doesn't do hair anymore.
You know
So
what? I will clip an end or two here and there.
I was about to say, so tell me about that transition, right? So at what point were you done doing hair, and why?
So I actually stopped doing hair in 2016. I had a really bad skin, like I don't know what to call it, maybe a reaction. Very close to like contact dermatitis, if you guys know what that is. It was like happening all on my hands, my face. I was like having bad breakouts, and I still was like trying to work through it, girl. I was like, went to the dermatologist. He put me on these steroids. I was like wearing a mask to work. I was shampooing with gloves on. It was like really intense, but it got to the point where he just told me straight up, like, I can't keep you on these steroids. It weakens your immune system and all of that. I think I was on it for like a month. He's like, you need to probably consider a new career. And I'm like, man, these are the same products I've been using for years. Like, I don't get it. And he was like, this is like common. And he was like, it happens a lot in people in the beauty industry and surprisingly chefs. He told me like people in the culinary industry, like I didn't know you could develop an allergy at any time. So this was like an eye opener. So a lot of my clients were wearing lashes, and they were like, you should lash. And I'm like, I don't know. I even considered makeup at one point, and I'm not even a super makeup person, but I considered it. So fast forward, I took a class, and at first it was not easy. I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I could do this. I've been doing hair all these years. This is so new. I just don't like it. You know how we are when we do something new. We don't really like it. So, so I took the class, and I just practiced every single day. At that time, I was working at Yelp. I don't know if we have any Yelp workers on the chat, but I was working at Yelp. So, which is a 9-to-5 job. And after work, I would go and try to train and practice. And it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So I quit my job at Yelp. This was last August, or the August before last. I quit my job at Yelp. And I just started lashing full time. I got a job at Amazing Lash Studio, which is a lash studio that's in Lincoln Park. I literally worked there every single day until I got it right. Like literally until I got it right. It was so many people I probably jacked up once again at the beginning, but the consistency, it kept me going. And once I got to like the 6-month mark, I'm like, okay, this is for me. I really can do this. I've already quit everything else. I've committed. So that's how that transition worked, just from the reaction, taking a lash class, practicing a little bit, and then just going full on and finding a job and working. Now I still do it full time. So
just let y'all know again, if you want to enter into this lash giveaway, just hashtag Lash Zero to enter in, and then I'll spin the wheel for y'all. Yeah, just to let y'all know, all y'all on this live.
Your girls, your mom. So, you can gift it too. It's not just for the ladies.
And so how was so since you went to beauty school, it doesn't include like lashes. You have to go to another school or another type of training again to get certified?
Yeah, so Lash was not offered at my program. You
Hmm.
know, it was just literally, you know what they do in beauty school? This is the best way for me how I can explain it. They do whatever's trending at that time. It's kind of like what they teach you. Obviously, you're going to learn hair, a little bit of makeup, a little bit of nails. But even like the styles, I didn't learn sew-ins in beauty school. I'm sure girls are learning sew-ins now in
Hmm.
beauty school because it's kind of more, I guess, like in style. And I actually talked to a young lady like not too long ago, and she told me that her beauty school actually did touch on lashing at her school. So I think honestly now they're probably learning a little bit, but for the most part, you do have to take it's like a continuing education course to learn the lashing.
Got it. And
It's
how
just two
long was your
days.
course? You said 2 days?
Yeah, well, I've taken two. I invest, guys. As y'all know, I like the best of the best. Okay, so I invest in training. It's the best. So my first training is through Extreme Lash, who are the pioneer of um, lashes. You could say they're like the Gucci of lashes. They are like the first company to really, really set a standard for lash extensions.
Hmm.
So I got my training with them. That was 4 days for 12 hours each day. So I went 4 days
Ooh.
consecutive from 12 a.m. or I'm sorry, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then, which sounds like a long time, but damn, when you leave a class, you're like, okay, am I
Now
ready? Like,
what?
I'm kind of still scared. Yeah. But, so I did that. And then I just did another training with Barbaretta, who I'm now an exclusive partner with. They're the bomb too. I love them. They're based out of Utah. But that training was only 2 days, but it
Hmm.
was 8 hours for each day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you've been through a lot of learning, Kay.
Girl, you have to be. You know, I love to be educated for not only just for myself, but for my clients. You know, I have clients that have been wearing lashes, even though lashes are kind of new to us. I've
Hmm.
had clients that are like, yeah, I've been wearing lashes for 11 years. I'm like, okay. You know, so I have a lot of clients who are very well versed on lashing, the glues, the adhesives, the textures, the curls. So, you know, I have to stay on point because clients now, you know, they like lash artists too. You know, they educating themselves and they're knowing what's going on in their eyes. But I don't blame them. Lashing is very vulnerable, right? Because you're like laying down on a table for two
Hmm.
hours with your eyes closed shut. You know, you got to kind of trust that the person that it's working on you knows what they're doing. So I feel it. So like I said, it just motivates me to stay on point with my education.
And so we got a question from
Yeah.
Darnell. It's Mr. Trinidad of Atlanta. He said, "How easy or difficult is it to find help or other stylists to help you scale?"
Oh, well, first things first, I honestly, I don't even have a lot of lash friends or like lash people. All my lash friends, honestly, are either girls I work with or like I've met through Instagram.
Hmm.
So I haven't really even come to that point yet where I've had to do just that.
Hmm. How do you even do that through Instagram? How do you network through Instagram? I think people actually think that Instagram is used for just like solely just play, right? But I think you're looking at
Yeah.
it on a business side, which I think a lot of people should,
Yeah.
especially during quarantine. So how do you use Instagram to network? Do you just randomly follow people and then like just DM them, or like how do you network that way?
Absolutely. So I have no problem with reaching out to people. If I see some dope lashes, I'm instantly following that page.
Okay.
And if I have any questions about a technique or method that they use, I definitely reach out to them too. I have no problem with doing that. And now I'm a part of this Borboleta family, which is basically like, I don't know how to explain. It's just like a small, to me, like a support group almost. You know,
Okay.
I've linked with other women who have had like the same training as me, so we're using the same products. We're using almost the same tweezers, and we just share different hacks. You know, things that may be faster, things that may be more efficient, things that the clients may like. So yeah, I mainly find them off of the pages and.
Hmm.
yeah, I just go from there. Girl, I reach out to people.
One thing I love about you, Kaylan, is I feel like ever since I met you, you've always had like this entrepreneurial spirit, right? Like you've always been like wanting to grind, go get it.
For
Like
sure.
very early on, who taught you that, or where did you learn that hustle?
For sure. My dad, period. My dad is like hustler. He's grinder. He's entrepreneur. He's worked for himself since he was 16 years old. Um, I got that side from him. My mom tells me that all the time too. Like, it's just in me. He's a creative. He's artistic. He's into music.
Hmm.
And he's really instilled in us from an early age that, you know, education is your key to freedom. But education doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you have to take traditional educational routes either.
Hmm.
You know, he was super supportive of me going to beauty school right out of high school, when some people thought that was like crazy, like, oh, she's not going to want to do that in a couple years, like you're going to waste money on this beauty thing. You know how people think 18-year-olds
Hmm.
don't understand what they want to do, which I do feel. But if I didn't have my dad support the way that I did, I probably would have just, you know, just did something that I was kind of good at, went to
Okay.
school and did it. But my dad really instilled, like, you know, that hustling side, and also the artistic side, the creative side, you know. So
Did you ever have a
my dad,
time where like emotionally or mentally like you didn't have that motivation, right, to keep going? Because I feel like a lot of times with being an entrepreneur, it's also mental, right? You got to tell yourself you can do it. Ooh,
yes, I have those thoughts sometimes, even now. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, you know, this
right.
quarantine is going on, and it is an eye opener. You know, when I was developing those rashes on my hands and stuff, it was an eye opener. Like, wow, I really need to change careers, because if I keep doing hair, I'm gonna
Hmm.
keep getting these rashes. Like, you mean to tell me I've been doing this all these years? And then just transitioning even now over to the lashing, like, I don't know. I just, yeah.
Yeah, has been asked too, when are you taking clients?
Oh, uh, I'm
When
working.
quarantine's over?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yes, I promise. I am working on it. Right. When is a good time to do it? I really don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Hopefully when outside opens up.
Yeah, I want you guys. I want y'all to come and get lashed. I miss it.
Again, if y'all just popped into the live, check the pinned comment. She's giving away a Classic Lash Set. Just hashtag Lash Zero in there, and then I'll enter you guys into a giveaway, and then we'll wheel it off at the end. We got another question that says, "What was one of your biggest barriers when you first started lashing?"
Mm, biggest barriers. Well, when I first started having somewhere to lash. You know, I didn't really have a place to do it right. I took this extensive training, and I didn't really have anywhere to do it. So at the beginning, I will say having a place was a barrier. But now, honestly, honestly, Corona. That's it. Now, you know, I really haven't had too many barriers, luckily, just because it is a market for lashing. Like,
Mhm.
I had no idea before I started lashing. Like, I've had really no problems with business per se. The only barrier that I have is having people being consistent, like loyal clients.
Got
You
it.
know, that thing. But it's nothing for me to get people. People will come in, but those loyal clients that keep coming back, it's the same thing I had to do, like how we talked about in Carbondale, how that beginning was really, really slow. It took me like a year to really get to the point where I needed to be. That's how I feel right now with lashing. So,
How can people then create like a nice, successful like pay structure, right? Because I'm assuming if you start off in the industry, you're not going to be making a ton of money up front, right? Because you're
yeah,
investing in yourself with training, you're trying to
yes.
get loyal clients. So would you recommend like people just having like another part-time job on the side, or like how can they like successfully scale their business while
Okay.
also trying to like pay the bills?
All right. So, with that, when I started lashing, Remember I said I would started off at the smaller studio, Amazing Lash. So they actually paid me an hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
And I made commission off of like upselling certain styles. Like, you know, you made, instead of a classic, you make it a volume, which is like a fuller look. So it's just adding more lashes. So, and of course tips. So when I first started, I started there intentionally because I knew essentially I'm getting paid to practice. You see what I'm saying? I'm new. I have the training, but I'm still getting paid hourly. They brought the clients. I didn't have to do that. So that's what I did at the beginning. But to work at a studio like that, you do have to be a licensed cosmetologist. So that's like the benefit for having a license. You know, I encourage everyone, if you're working in beauty, that you should have a license.
Wait, do you not need one?
You know, there are some people out there that are, you know, performing services without. However, that does not mean they're any less talented. They're just a little more under the radar. But I think when you have the license, it allows you to just kind of expand like your training and your work, and just being invited to different conferences. Like they do want you to have a license for something. So I think it is beneficial.
Got it.
But yeah.
I guess it's true. Whenever I go get my lashes, and I'm not like, hey, let me see your certification.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like if they can do it, same thing with hair. You're not like, hey, where's your license on the wall? Like, are you licensed? You know, you're just like, hey, I know you hooked my hair up, so that's, you know, that's cool. Don't ask, don't tell, I guess.
I mean, right now it's the same in business, right? If somebody has a skill, I don't even care, to be honest now. If you went to college or not, okay, whatever, right? But if you can do the tasks that's need to be done and you just know this skill, like,
and
we're good.
If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, we could Google it, but I think in some states and cities, I don't think that you need a license.
Oh yeah, we just got a comment that said some states don't require a license.
Oh, do we? Yeah, I think there is some truth to that. I think there's some states right now for lashing. I don't think you might not even need a license.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also got to. Oh, go ahead, Kayla.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, but yeah, if you are starting off with lashing, I have a friend right now who is new to lashing. She still works her full-time job, but she does lash like on Saturdays and Sundays, and I think maybe sometimes after work. So just to answer your previous question, I think it is best that you maybe at the beginning have some type of side job that's flexible though, you know, so your clients, you know, if they need to come in the morning, they can come, they come in the evening. You know, a good alternative to that, if there are anyone that's listening who needs a job that's flexible, you know, when I say flexible, I mean like the Instacarts, the Uber Eats, the substitute teaching. If you have a bachelor's degree, that's awesome because you can set your own schedule and you can sub when you want, you know. So there are options out there. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know, because I definitely had looked into that, you know, just like as a plan B, just in case like it did get slow for me. So, but I didn't have to do it, but there are options.
Okay. We got a question that says, what is your motivation and what is your ultimate goal? Both great questions.
I like those questions. Well, I'll start with ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to provide product and training services for aspiring lash artists. So ultimately, that's what I would like. I would like to have possibly like my own lash space just for me, but I'm not really sure if I'm at the point yet if I want to have like a full-on studio and like managing other people and all of that. I'm not sure about that, but ultimately I don't want to provide services forever. I would love to have a product and then go into training. So training aspiring lash artists, I think that would be dope. And my motivation honestly is just my past situations and not wanting to be in those situations anymore. So, you know, it really, really motivates me to go hard. I'm really motivated by pain. Like
motivated by pain.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to me. You gotta unravel that one for me.
Yeah. So if I have, when I say pain, I mean like hardship or anything like that. Like being down at your lowest, at the very, very bottom, like nowhere else to go. You like, dang, this is it. And when you know what that feels like, it really, really does make you want to go harder. At least for me, you know, it's very motivating for me, you know, just not to go back to that. So yeah, for me, I'm a hustler. Like you said, I'm a grinder. I've always been like that. I'm new to lashing, but I'm a vet in the beauty industry. So at the end of the day, like I know what I can do and just to make it happen. So yeah, if I'm down or if I'm going through something like that, really I think back on it and it really makes me like go hard. Like, dang, you came all this way not to, nah, like we gotta pick it up.
Love that. And is there any like misconceptions do you think in the lash industry? I think for me, one that I know that I think about, right, is a lot of people think like, okay, lashes like the new thing. Everybody wants lashes, so I'm gonna just go into it and make thousands of dollars and get rich quick, right?
Yeah. Nah. Okay. So with that, okay, so the good part is you can make thousands of dollars doing lashes for sure. The upside to that is that while you're making that thousand, or you could potentially make that $1,000, it comes with a lot of hours, a lot of trial and error. Because the thing is, every client is going to be different. All lashes are different. All faces are different. So you have to learn all these facial types. You have to learn all these brow types and eye shapes and curls and lengths and dimensions. It's so much, but you can't learn it just on one or two people. You literally may have to go through hundreds or just a few people to really understand like the art of lashing is what I like to call it. You know what I mean? You're not just putting the same thing on everybody, you know? So you can make it, but you have to be consistent. You have to practice every day, or at least like I try to tell my one friend who I mentioned earlier, who's now lashing, at least 3 to 4 times a week for your speed. You gotta think about speed too, right? You can't be charging somebody $200 for a set and they're laying on your table for 4 hours. No, they ready to get out in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? It's an investment. That's a lot of money, right? For your lashes. Right. I mean, it's we spend it, but if they're paying that, to me, the service has to be on point and it has to be there. So when it comes to people that want to lash, you just have to think: is this a hobby? Is this a side job? Is this a full-on career? What type of lashes do you do? What type of clientele do you want? You know, I like to think now that I do have a very targeted clientele that I like based on the lash style that I prefer to go with. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you're just doing this as a hobby and it's just for fun, then okay, yeah, you may not be taking it as serious, but it's a lot of practice. It's very tedious. You've had lash extensions done before, right, Brittany?
Well, they're gone now, right? But
how long? It takes like 2 hours for a full set.
Yeah, I do like a very short classic one, so mine takes like an hour 15, hour 30.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I guess actually that's a fill though. So I guess that's different, right, than getting a new set from a fill.
Yeah, it is different. But each artist is different. I know some ladies right now that are filling at 45 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how the client comes in. So I don't know. It's just if you are seriously trying to make the real money, you just have to invest the time and practice and be consistent, get your time down, and stay up on the trends. That's it.
Got it. And what's some questions or maybe some tips that you would give to people to know if someone's a good lash artist or not, right? Like, I know people can post things on their page, but how do you know from someone from the outside looking in if they're good or not?
Well, one, you definitely want to check out their work. So that's where you start, right? Oh, you do lashes? That's dope. What's your Instagram, or what's your website? So you want to just look at their pictures, their videos of their work. It's even better if you know somebody whose lashes they've done. That's awesome. But other than that, their education. So you may want to just ask like, hey, where's your certification from, or who did you get certified through? That's about it. Even if you don't really know nothing about lashes, it's nothing for you to just look it up real quick. Make sure it's legit. You can ask them what type of products do you use. It's always good to even educate yourself on some products before too. Ask them about wash. I mean, ask them questions that genuinely you need to know the answer to, and then just based off their answer, I just feel like Instagram, we can't go all the way off of the gram, because somebody could do beautiful lashes and then you get to their place and it could be like so like not sanitized, and it could be disgusting. You know what I mean? So those little things, like you need to see their space. You need to make sure how they sanitizing. Do you see barbicide anywhere in the vicinity? Do you see alcohol wipes? Do you see Cava pads? Like just certain things that you should look out for. So.
I never think about that, but that's true, right? If you get a lot of people getting up and leaving, like you better switch things out, because like that's disgusting.
Like fun fact, like I was getting my hair done one time by this girl. I was cheating on my regular stylist, but she did my hair. And it was like, I went in, she had like hairspray all in her combs and gel, and it was so messy. And I was like, she did hair bomb. I'm not gonna lie, she was fire, but the sanitation was just not there. And I never went back,
Right.
But I don't know, maybe I might get a little biased because I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I probably, look at certain things like that. But no, I have some clients too that have asked me like, oh, do you mind washing your hands one more time? Like, I didn't see you wash your hands. Absolutely. No problem. I'm always cleaning and washing my hands. But if somebody asks me that, or, anything, cool, no problem. You want me to change the bedding? What do you want me to do? So you gotta
love that.
The sanitation has to be on point. Look for that number one when you go into a lash art.
Someone put sanitation is key. That's facts. You're getting a lot of people commenting saying, I love the Lash Hero. So you got tons of love on this live.
I love y'all. I don't really do these, so this is cool.
Just say you'll be surprised how unsanitary people are. Oh,
yes.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. That is the number one thing. But that, like I said, that's something that you won't necessarily see initially on like Instagram. That is something that you would have to just kind of be aware of when you're walking into someone's lash space.
Okay. I'm gonna do this spin the wheel at 5:50, you guys. I'm writing down everybody who hashtagged. I'm putting your stuff in the choice spinning wheel thing. So we got some questions. I wrote them down. Yeah. Do you do more classic or volume lashes?
So I do a lot of classic. That's just my clientele. But now I'm actually introducing my clients to the volume lashes. It's my girls who I have a lot of working women, professional clients, which I love to have. They're fun, they're trendy, and they just still want a darker look, but they want it to still be work appropriate, which is cool. So now I'm trying to transition them to, getting that fuller look and playing around with some volumes, but like what you like in a shorter length. But I prefer, I don't know which one I prefer, but I do a lot of classic for sure.
Okay. And is lashing hard? Did it just come natural to you because you were good out the gate? That was a question.
Thank you. It was really hard. I struggled a lot at the beginning. And you know what? I should post on like Third by Thursday. Maybe I'll do that on Thursday. I'm going to post the first lash set I ever did. Like, y'all are going to laugh. Like, are you serious? But I was consistent. And like I said, if you just keep practicing, it does come easy. It took me about, like I said, I would say like 6 months before I really felt like super comfortable.
Okay. That's actually that's a while. But that's good, right? Like
that's
you said, you need practice. Yeah. Practice makes perfect.
Yes, I didn't even start Instagram until I think last December. Like I was that afraid to like even post my work. I think like my friend Karita and Kai and Autumn Riot, they're like, girl, you have to post. Like just post. Even my best friend Joya, like she like, people just need to see, So it took me like a year for me to even make an Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you got another question that says, well, sounds like someone who studies their craft. That was the comment. which
What did
is
they say?
facts. Sounds like someone who studies their craft.
Absolutely.
Which is you.
Oh, thank you.
How quick is the return on investment from schooling?
So I actually that's actually I don't know who asked that, but that was a really good question.
I think that was to Kyla.
Okay, of course. Hey, girl. So my first training was $3,000. Okay, this is the 4-day training for 12 hours.
$3,000.
$3,000. Now they give you a kit. It was like 27 something. So we'll go with that. They give you a kit in there, and in the kit, based on how you price, you can make back. You basically can make $3,000. I think that's how it was. So you can make more than what you spent on the class. This is if you followed their protocol of how to like market and price and all of that. Now, I didn't feel that comfortable at first, charging what they suggested me to charge, just because I wasn't I don't know, like I don't want to say I wasn't that good, but I wasn't confident. That's I was not confident. So I probably made back off of that kit, I want to say $2,000. So I didn't make the whole $2,700, but I did make $2,000 off the initial kit. And it took me from August to, it was like right before, I just remember it was right before Thanksgiving. So basically August to November, it took me that long, which now I could probably make that like in a week or two, but now that it took me like a little minute.
And last question we got on here was, do you plan on doing any lash tours in the South when outside opens up?
Lash tours in the South? I would love that. I would love to, maybe.
You gonna go on tour, Kaylan?
Who's asking?
I think it was a guy too.
Oh, okay. I mean, if they hook it up, they got a studio or somewhere for me to work.
I think that was Nate. He has a nail salon in Charlotte, so I think that's what he was asking. Maybe if you could lash in his nail salon.
For sure, like that's actually somebody presented that to me too not too long ago, like just kind of doing like pop-ups in different cities, and I think that would be dope. Like if I could connect with people and kind of build a small clientele base in different cities, I would be super open to that. So let's talk.
Oh yeah, so it's Top Coat Charlotte. I think on Instagram it's Top Coat CLT. He just said, "Come, I'll host you."
Oh, I love it. And my mom, she lives in Hawaii too, so she's always trying to get me to come to Maui. I see her comments.
Oh yeah, come to our Maui. That would be dope. I'm sure in Hawaii it's probably hard to find tons of services over there.
It is. My mom be sending me pictures like, how's this person? This how she do lashes. She did mine. Look, she's always like double checking with me to make sure. But they do a good job. But it is very it's not a lot of people that do it.
Did you have any mentors or do you have any mentees throughout now from lashing?
Well, a mentee would be Jordan, who is my friend, who she works full time, but she is learning lashing, which I think she's been doing it now for almost a year. And a mentor, when I first started, it was a lady. Her name is Elan. She has a studio, I think it's Elan's Lash Studio. Now it's called Elan Salon. But she's the one that encouraged me and talked to me about Extreme Lash. And she is the bomb. She's cold. She's on 16th and State. She's in the South Loop. And she's really, really good. Her price point's up there. She is goals, okay? And yeah, she's like someone who I really admire on the gram. And she's old school, so she don't really do a whole lot of marketing and stuff on the gram because she has her clientele, but she's older and she's the bomb. I know I can call her whenever I have any questions.
I love that. And what's the best?
I want to throw this out there too. I have kind of a new mentor in a way, Kiasha. I think she was on here before too. We have had several talks about beauty. She has at this point is really, really guiding me into how to start my business. Well, my business is started, but how to go about building my business in a profitable way, in the right way, so she's teaching me a lot about business credit, and just I'm learning a lot from her through her trials and errors. So it's pretty dope. So I do want to give a shout out to Kiasha because she's been very, very helpful on the business tip as well for me.
And I usually do this at the end, but I think I'll do this now since you're starting to kind of shout people out, right? So
Yeah.
for how I usually round out these lives, I say, hey, who's being great in your life, right? So I just know birds of a feather flock together always, right? We're always around successful people. And when I mean success, I don't mean like if you're making 6, 7, 8 figures, right? Success is like if you're wealthy in your mind, right? Like if you're just pushing towards your goals, if you're supporting your friends, like if you're pushing towards something, because we're always grinding no matter how far people think we are, right? In life. So who's being great in your life, who's motivating, supporting you, holding you down, that is at the top of your mind right now?
Is it like this is like a one person thing?
No. It's as many people as you want.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely want to shout out all my girls, okay? Joya, Mariah, Autumn, Kai, my mom, she's on here. They have been so supportive. And Joya, I don't know, did I say Joya? I think I said Joya, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have been so supportive, you know, keep it real, you know, with you. I had went through a really bad breakup, and at a point I was just like lost, right? I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when this lashing really came about and I really wanted to take it serious, for me it was like a start over everything, right? I got out of that relationship. I quit that job at Yelp that I really didn't like, and I picked up something new that kept me busy, kept me positive, kept me motivated. And my friends like never let me forget like how talented I am, like where I came from. And even to this day, before this call, Kai is calling me like, girl, hold on, you ready? Like, what we talking about? What you doing? Like, make sure you hit on this. Let them know you doing this, you know? So and they really like pump me up and gas me. And, you know, it's good to have that from your circle. They want to see you win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we see so much jealousy and stuff now going on. And people think everyone can win. Everybody can win. And you only as strong as your circle. So I want to shout them out. They have really helped me. I don't want to call it a bounce back because I ain't really never left, but you know, they really helped me, like, you know, just stay on point, and they just don't let me forget like how cold I am. So
I love that. It seems like you did like a pivot, right? It seems like after that bad time, or that, you know, whatever that time happened for you, it seemed like you literally hit that reset button, but it wasn't really like a reset. It was like, I'm gonna pivot, right? It's like, all right, they helped you out of that scenario. You were like, all right, I'm gonna bounce back. Here we come. And then like you just pivoted and went somewhere else, right? And I think, like you said, right, your circle was the people who were like, all right, like you gotta come on, know your worth. You know you've been grinding forever, right?
Exactly. Like, you know what you about, you know what you want to do. Like, stop playing. And this is just any advice anyone's listening that may be moved by this, or they may be having a situation, or they may have something similar to mine. You know, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if it's something that you want to pursue, a goal, a dream, it can be the smallest business, whatever it is, like, you should go for it. Don't wait for nobody to fund it. Don't wait for nobody to approve it. You know, if you want to do it, just do it. That's it. You know, everybody wants to go into business with somebody. You don't need nobody to go into business with you. Like, just do it. Just be patient. I know right now, millennials, right, we want stuff right now. We want to get it cracking. We want all the money. But you know what? Just put in that work. A year, 2 years, like, literally anything could happen. So, you know, if it's something you want to do, keep positive energy around you. Keep positive people around you. Do your thing. You know, don't worry about for the ladies, don't worry about no man. Fellas, don't worry about no girl. Because these guys or whoever, they will let you be their muse, but they will not make you their partner. So you do have to do your own thing sometimes and not be afraid of that. So.
Ooh, you dropping some gems. I can't type too quickly, girl. For everyone, again, we're about to do the giveaway in a minute. Last chance. Hashtag Lash Hero to enter into the giveaway to get a classic free lash set, or for your lady to get one too for the guys.
Yes, for anybody. And if you guys want to see a classic set or anything, you know, we can talk about all that with the winner. Like, you guys can let me know.
And how can people stay connected with you if they want to contact you or use your services? How can they connect with you?
Absolutely. So, of course, on my Instagram, I don't have any photos or videos of myself on here, but the Lash Hero, that's me. I have some new content coming up. I have new things coming. So definitely follow my Instagram for sure. A couple months, I got something good coming. I lash out of Pear Nova Studio. It is in Lacuna Lofts, 2150 South Canalport. You can book directly. I have the booking on in my bio, and then it's also on Pear Nova's bio too. We are closed right now because of Corona, but we should be open hopefully. I don't know, the summer next month, right? May 30th. I don't know, but hopefully soon. So yeah.
Okay, so this is who I got on the wheel. It's a lot of people. So we got Ms. for Mariah, Curls and Pearls, 1908, Mr. Trinidad of Atlanta, Kai Camille, Kai Kai So Classy, Nia So Sweet, Don's Decor. Ooh, sounds for the Z. Zaria or
Zaria.
Zaria. Okay. Hey, it's Ate. Head Honcho, Bubba Slimes, That's Okay, Yaya's World. Is it Joy Johnny?
Oh, Joya. Joya
yes.
Johnny.
Karita, Tony the Talker, Millie Roots, It's a Leo 23, and B Noel. Boom.
Okay.
All right. We about to get this. Let me see if I can turn this around so I can apply wheel changes. Please, Jesus, work for me. Oh, it works. Nothing ever works for me on the first try. All right.
Oh,
so
look at that. Okay.
Boom.
This
see
is
if I can put this up. All right, we about to spin it.
All right, y'all.
Here we go. Bubba Slimes.
Wow, he would win.
So, yep, DM Kaylan, and then she'll give you more details on that as well for the lash set. Oh, you want to shout out Greek Life? I feel like Greek Life is actually a very crucial thing, right? To network in, to meeting great people, and I know you Greek, so.
It is. Let me tell y'all, Greek Life is amazing. I am a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I have had so many clients that are Zetas, AKs, Deltas. Everybody rocks with the Lash Hero. I will say that, and I love that, and I love the support, the repost. I even had some SG Rose at SIU. We didn't even have SG Rose. I met. My cousin went to law school, and some of her best friends from school were SG Rose, so I met them, and they've been supportive too. So I am proud to be Greek because it has helped me. At the beginning, that was like all of my clients. So,
oh wow.
So many. Look at, they are going crazy about the.
They mad. They're mad. Yeah, you won, Bubba. You won. No cheating went on.
He probably wasn't even playing. He probably just saw people hashtagging and was just.
And then you hashtag. See, that's luck. You should play the lottery.
It could be a gift card. It can make a gift card.
So what other advice? I know you're telling people like go for their dreams, right? Like what other advice would you give to people who want to lash or in general are just entrepreneurs and right now are just in quarantine and they're not knowing where to go?
I think honestly just stay true to what you're doing. Everybody, and it's nothing. Everybody doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. You know, you don't have to be bossed up. Or you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be bossed up. You know what I mean? If you work in your corporate, be the best at your corporate job. You know, if you scooping ice cream, be the best damn scooper there is out there. You know what I mean? Like, you just be true to you. And like someone mentioned earlier, study your craft. You know what I mean? That's all you have to do. Study your craft. And I think that's probably the biggest and best advice that was given to me early on, even when I wanted to do hair. Like, if you're going to do this, then you need to invest in your education. You need to invest in a top school. You need to know why you're going there. So I feel the same way now with lashing. I'm very intentional about the classes that I take. I'm intentionally not training people right now just because I'm still perfecting my craft. Who am I to really be teaching? I can give you tips all day long. You can come see me, but I need to really make sure that I'm on point as much as I can be to my comfort level for me to be teaching people. So, and I feel the same way. Like, study your craft, be the best at it, and just kind of go from there.
Let me see. Congrats, Bubba. I'm scared to get lashes, but I know you'll rock. Oh, his girl will rock them. This has been so informational and motivational. So thanks to you, Kaylan.
Oh, y'all the bomb. Of course, anytime.
So I really appreciate, I know it's IG Live might kick me off in like 4 or so minutes, but I really appreciate having you on, you know, telling me about your journey, right? Like even, I think one thing that people don't realize is that like our life is about highs and lows and what we do and those decisions that we make at every point, not only at the high, but at the low too, because the lows, like you said, right? They're motivational and they're crucial, right? And you learn so much from those and you're surrounded by so many good people that are like, you're going to go back to this high. Like it's just one time.
You just feel unstoppable. You just feel like you can go. And like I said, you got to just feed off that pain. You got to feed off that energy, feed off negative. Somebody saying you can't do something. You're like, okay, I think I saw you post something that was like, you know, instead of asking why me, you should say try me.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was like something like that. But it stuck with me though, because that's my mentality. You know what I mean? So I just remember that. I can't remember when you posted or what that was on from you, but
I think that was like during quarantine, when quarantine started, right? Everybody's like, why are we doing quarantine? It's like, well, we still gonna thrive, right? Like
period. And that's really what it is. So while y'all in this quarantine, while we wrap this up, while you're in your quarantine, I would say just study, do something that you've been wanting to do, or maybe do something that you haven't done in a long time. You know, damn, I've been wanting to work out. I ain't been able. Okay, cool. Pull your mat out. You know what I mean? Oh, I've been wanting to cook more. Here's your chance. So it might not have to do with anything with business. Just do something to keep your mind right, keep your spirits up, you know, and maybe that'll inspire a hustle. You never know.
And we got some comments saying, thanks for being so open. Love your honesty. I really enjoyed this. Such great questions and even better answers. I can't wait to get my lashes done by the Lash Hero.
Hey, of course.
Thanks.
Come see me, hopefully, y'all. Follow me for updates on when I'm working again, I guess.
Outside's gonna open up soon. Corona can't keep us down.
Gonna be open real soon.
Or these hornets or whatever's coming into our lives. But thank you so much, Kaylan. I really appreciate you for coming on live. I know you said you haven't even been on live, right? So I'm so excited, right, for you just to share everything. So I appreciate it. I'm gonna save this and upload it to YouTube, and I'll give you the link too if you want to reference it or send it to people who don't have Instagram, because I know a lot of people don't too. So.
Oh, cool. They can watch it on there too. Okay.
Okay. So thanks, and thank you guys for listening, tuning in, for entering into the giveaway too. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 5.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Peace.